Hello and welcome to my channel, Kayla Creations. I'm Kay and this is part 2 of the tutorial for the B album. And I do have to apologize to everyone for taking so long to get this part 2 tutorial done. I know it's been months and I won't go into the reasoning for that, but anyway, we're getting started now. So we're going to first make the pockets and the foldouts for the pages, and then we're going to talk about how we cut the paper. Now, you should be at this point so far in the tutorial, you should have your album cover finished, and you should have your papers and your hinge glued onto the spine. And the paper, of course, that I used a blue, kind of a bluish gray color in my album, which I could no longer get that color of paper that I used in my album, but get a blue that's kind of grayish. And anyway, should be at this point here with your album. And then you also should have your, and I can't find my, oh, here it is. You should have your envelope to this point, but not glued. It's gonna have no paper on it. So it's gonna look like this here, but then it's going to be, it should be able to open on all four sides. Don't cut it yet. I talked a little bit about how to make it, but we didn't, completely go over how I cut the decorative papers. You might have figured it out from the first tutorial. I'm not sure I was very clear on that, but if you have gotten this far, that's fine. I'm going to go over a little bit more in detail how to put the decorative papers onto the envelope. So if you've already figured it out and you've already done it, that's fine. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to cut you want your page to be 5 3/4 wide. So you're just going to take your envelope and trim this off here to 5 3/4. So your envelope's going to be from here to here, 5 3/4. Okay. And but if you haven't done that yet, you're still wanting to, need to put your decorative papers on, then you should be here without the decorative papers on. I hope that makes sense. Sorry about that. And so that's where we're at. And then you have your three pages made, and they should look like this with an opening on each side. Okay, and they're 5 3/4 by 7 3/8. So that's all in the first video. So now we're going to talk about how to put our pockets and foldouts in. So the first page that so this is how I'm numbering the pages. Okay, so this is the front inside cover, page 1, page 2, page 3. So we're going to talk about page 3 right now. We're going to make this pocket right here. So if you can see better, we're going to make this pocket that's right here. And to do that, you're going to need a piece of white cardstock is what I've used on the entire album. And you're going to need a piece of paper that is 3 inches wide and 8 3/8 inches long. So then you're going to put it up on your scoreboard and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Then you're going to score at 1/2 inch here. And you're going to score at 1/2 inch here. Okay, and then at this point, then I fold my score lines, and I burnish them down to a really nice flat score line fold, and then I open it back up again, and I put my tape. It folds in like this, so I want to put it on the outside of the fold here, here, and here, and then once I put the tape on, then I take my scissors and I cut that corner off. You have a little box there on the corners, and I've already cut these down to save a little bit of time, but I just cut to the edge of that corner there, that score line, and I just cut my corners like so. And so now I have it, the pocket looking like this and ready to go onto the page. And so I've already got a little bit of tape here. The reason I'm not taping it permanently is because I'm making it the same size of album as the B album, but I'm doing a cute baby album, and so my papers are different, and I'm not sure how I'm going to actually style the inside of my album yet. So this is just for demonstration. So you have this page. There's no front or back or left and right yet, because we haven't glued anything on it. Once we've glued this pocket on, then it matters how you glue everything else on this page. So once you've glued this on, it's going to matter which side is which. So this pocket is going to have to go on the left side of the page. And so I'm putting it on, I'm just taping it on the edge here like this. Okay, and so you might want to write down on here that this is page 3. Okay, and so then you have page 3 right here, and then the next page that we're going to alter is page 4. And so this is page 4 here. So we got the pocket here on page 3. Now we got to flip it over and do page 4. So this is a fold out here. And it's very simple. So now that we've got this down on page 3, it does matter which side you put the next step on. So you're just going to flip it over like that, okay, and set it aside. If you need to say this is the top and this is the bottom and this is the left and the right, you can do that because this is all getting covered up. So if you need to put top, bottom, left, and right, that's fine with your pencil. And so now we're going to cut a piece of paper that is 5.5 by 6.5. And then you're going to take the 5.5 side and you're just going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then you're just going to burnish it down like this, and then you're going to put tape on this. Once it's folded in like that, you unfold it, you're going to put your tape on this side, and then you have this page that there's the pocket, the opening of the pocket, and you're going to flip that over, and it should be on the left side, and then you're just going to center it from top to bottom. And I just kind of eyeballed mine, but if you want to measure, you go right ahead. But I'm just going to, it doesn't really matter if it's a 1/16 inch off or even an 1/8 of an inch off, it's going to be fine. But I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. So then I have that stuck on there. So then I have page 3 and page 4 completed. Okay, so then we're going to do page 6, which is this page here, and this is also a fold out that folds out on the left, but this one is a pocket. And so let me get in the frame a little bit better. So we have a pocket here. So it's the same thing, but there's a lot of ways that you can fold this and do this, but this is the way I'm doing it. Just, I don't know, just easier for me, I guess. And so I'm going to take my first page, and it's going to be cut at 5 7/8. So 5 7/8 is the width, and then the height is, the height is 6 3/4. So you're going to cut your first cardstock that, and then you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, and then 5/8 of an inch. So you're going to go 1/2 inch, and then 1/8 inch over to the right, and score again, so that you have 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch scored. Then you're going to turn it over opposite side and do another 1/2 inch. And then you're going to fold this and then you're going to fold that little 1/8 of an inch under, and then you're also going to fold this under. So you should eventually have a page that is 4 3/4 inches wide, okay? And it's going to be 6 3/4 inches tall. So then you have this right here. So just set that aside. Then you're going to cut another piece of paper at 5 1/4 wide by 7 1/4 tall. And then you're going to score that at 1/2 inch and then 1/2 inch. It really doesn't matter what side that you score it on, I don't think, because it just depends on which side you glue it on once you've scored it. So if you score it on this side, this has to be the bottom. This hinge right here, where you score, you have 7 1/4, and you've scored 1/2 inch on the one side. That is the bottom. Okay. So if you've scored it left side, then it's going to end up gluing on, because this hinge goes the opposite way. This is what the hinge that goes on the book. So you're going to unfold that out. And because I scored mine on this side with my hinge on the bottom, I'm going to flip it over and put my tape on it. Then I'm going to put my tape here and here, and then I'm going to cut my corner again, just like I did the pocket. Fold that over, and then I'm going to put tape on the right side here that does not have the 1/8 inch score. The 1/8 inch gusset is over on this side, and I want to put tape on this side. And I'm going to fold that over, fold this over, and then I'm going to tape these two pieces together. So I'm going to just do that with this tape here. Like I said, I'll make this permanent later and use it for something, but I don't know if I'm going to be using it in this book I'm making or not. So I've got this side, this will be my bottom hinge of the pocket, this will be my left side, and this is my right side of the pocket. And so you can put it on this way. You're going to want to line these right sides up. But I think more importantly, I'm going to worry about not covering that score line on this side. I don't want to impede the folding of this hinge. So I'm going to turn this over, if that makes sense. I'm going to unfold where my hinge is, and I'm going to turn this over. It's the same way. It's just doing the same thing, I just flipped it over. So I have my if it's turned over, this is the left side of my pocket, and this is the right side. I'm just going to make sure that my pocket does not go over that score line. So I'm going to line it up just next to that score line and make sure it's lined up top and bottom. Oh my goodness, okay. All right, I'm not getting it lined up on this side, hang on. It's really not that hard, I'm just being a klutz today. Okay, so I've got it lined up top and bottom, and I've lined it just outside of that score line so that it'll still bend. So you should be able to, when you fold that over, you should have a really nice 1/8 inch hinge. If it's not folding right, if you're not having that little 1/8 inch spine right there, if it's too far over, take it apart and fold it, glue it on again. That's why tape is a good thing to use sometimes when you're doing this, because if you have to adjust it, if you're using like an art glitter glue or something like that, it's not going to come off. And then you have to do it again. So, and then you should have this 1/8 inch gusset here that will fold nicely and make a little spine. and then you should have this 1/2 inch that will be hinged onto the page. And so let me tape that down. Like I said, I'm doing this kind of temporary because I'm not sure what I'm doing. Now, you might have a little bit of, maybe you have a little bit of that one, the unfolded edge sticking out. If you do, then which I did on the original album as well, sometimes it's just not possible to cut 100% exact with 2 different pieces of paper. So I'm not cutting that folded paper, I'm just cutting that's why I wanted to make sure that this folded side was up next to the score line, so that if it was a little off, I could take my scissors and cut that single straight edge down to match the folded edge on this side. I hope that makes sense. Because this top part of the pocket had the fold on this side, and this side had the folded edge on this side, so that if this sticks out too long, then I can cut it down. If it's a little short, don't worry about it. Your decorative paper will cover that. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now I'm going to take this is a blank page, so it's just a blank page at this point, and I'm going to put my tape here on this part of the hinge, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to actually fold it straight. I'm going to fold my spine flat so that I can make sure that I get up to the edge there where I want to be on the left side. And I'm going to center it top and bottom. And I'm folding my 1/8 inch hinge, or my 1/8 inch gusset flat, so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to press it down like that. And then, so then now I'm going to fold my paper back up so that I have that nice 1/8 inch hinge right there, or gusset. Not hinge, spine. You have an 1/8 inch spine here. So this is page 6. So I'm going to write page 6 right here, okay? And then on here I'm going to so I know which side it is because I'm opening it to the left, but on the other side I'm going to flip it over like that, and I'm going to write top, T for top, B for bottom, L left, R right. So this ensures that when I'm decorating the pages, I know which is going where. Okay, so that is it as far as doing your pages, and so now you have all your pages, ready to put the decorative paper on. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. I don't know how long it's going to take me to go through the rest of it. I don't want a video that's super long, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. And so the next tutorial will be at cutting our decorative papers and how to put them on the page. And hopefully, if we have time, then I'll show you how to do the inside front cover, but that will probably be the last thing I do. So that might be another tutorial after this one, which is okay. Little short tutorials are okay. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I appreciate your patience. All of those of you who've been asking about the second tutorial, I do apologize, and I'm bad. So I do apologize, and hopefully that won't happen again. So thank you for your patience and understanding. Bye.